Hi, this is Bird from Birds SVGs, and in this video we'll be assembling the True Love card from the Truly Madly Deeply SVG collection. Our first step is we're going to pop the envelope together, and then we can set that aside ready for our card. I'm going to fold along all of the four sides of your envelope. Then fold in your sides, add a little bit of glue to the bottom edge. And I'm just going to add a little bit to my bottom flap as well, on this, just on the sides. Then fold it up, hold it for a second, and then we'll pop the insert into the top. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a tiny little bit of glue around, all around the area surrounding my cutout detail there. And then I'm going to add a narrow bead of glue all the way around the outside of my insert. Then I'm going to pop my insert into place, making sure that I've got a border around all the sides so I know it's in the right spot. That's our envelope done. Okay, moving on to our card. Just fold along your card base, and then these are the two pieces that you've got for the insert of your card. So I'm just deciding which side of my pattern paper I'd like to be showing outwards. Because it's symmetrical, you can decide at the last minute. Just going to glue that into place. Then you want to cut your heart out of some light coloured cardstock or white. This is where you're going to write the message to your recipient. And then I've got a layer to put on the front of my card. And I just want to make sure that I've got it the right way up. So I'm just taking one of my front layers and just making sure that I've got the right way up, because it could be easy to get the wrong way around. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue, mainly around the outside edges. And I'm going to be gluing this piece straight down onto my card. And then I'm going to be moving on to the focal piece of the front of my card, but I'll add that to this card base later, and I'll be mounting that onto some 3D foam pads. But my layer I want to glue straight down to my card. Okay, so your detail piece, it comes in 4 pieces, and the way you want to layer it is you want white on the bottom, then you want your green piece, then your red piece goes on top of that, and then your black is your very top layer. So I'm actually going to be putting it together kind of in reverse. I'm going to start with my top layer first. And you want to do that because that way your glue won't be peeking out anywhere. Now this is a little bit tricky to do if you don't have a glue bottle with a precision tip like I've got. I'm trying to add as much glue around all of the detail as I can, but there are some alternatives. You can either, if you don't have a bottle with a precision tip like me, I see I wasn't happy with the placement, so I just, before my glue completely dried, I just wanted to shift it a little bit, make sure it's lined up nicely. Yeah, so if you haven't got a precision tip on your glue, just add a few dots around the place, and then if there's any bits that are lifting afterwards, you can use a spatula trick. So just slide your spatula, you know, the one you use for taking the pieces off your cutting mat, slide that underneath with a little bit of glue on it, and just then that can, when you touch the back of your card, you'll add a little bit of glue there, and it'll be enough to hold it down. Alternatively, if you've got a piece of acetate or just plastic packaging, add a little bit of glue onto that, spread it around almost like a stamping mat, and then dab your cutout piece into it. So it's kind of like a little glue pad. I very often do this on the back of my hand, but I understand some people have got sensitive skin. So if you don't want to do it on the back of your hand, like I say, do it onto a piece of acetate or a piece of plastic packaging, even on your acrylic block if you wanted, because it will peel off if it's PVA. Smear it around, and then you use that like a glue pad and just dab your cutout pieces onto it. I'm just using a little pin here to get any little bits of glue that are kind of showing. I know they'll dry clear, but they were bugging me, so I was just using a pin to actually remove those. Now, as you go down layer by layer, there's less and less to glue because some of the areas are being covered up each time. This does actually form quite a thick element, you know, focal element to your card. It almost feels like a little chipboard piece or something. So it's quite nice to add some 3D foam pads behind this, or whatever your 3D adhesive of choice is, whether it's glue dots or whatever. You can pop that behind this piece and it's nice and sturdy, it won't sag or anything. And obviously the focal element of this card is inspired by tattoos. So I think this would be a great card for men, because I know I do hear from a lot of people that they have trouble with masculine cards or cards for the men in their life. So I think this one would be great because it is, you know, inspired by tattoo artwork. I'm just trying to line up my focal piece as best I can on top of my layer, and I just need to make sure that the little bit of the layer is peeking out all the way around the edge, because there's a slim border there, and that's your card. It's complete, so it's ready to go in your envelope. And I hope this card is fun for you to make, and I hope it comes in handy this Valentine's Day. But obviously this would also work for someone's birthday or maybe an anniversary.